On this day 7 of Ramadan reflections about cultivating hijab of the heart anchored in light, let's consider another scenario. If you were to choose between these two scenarios, one, rank high before fellow human being, or two, ranking higher before the Almighty, which one would you pick? These two scenarios give us an insight to consider having that opportunity when the Almighty activates our hearts. The first thing we need to think about is what's going on here, to reflect, to reset, and to think about what does Allah require me to do, or why am I having this feeling at this point in time. So when Allah activates our hearts, it's because He wants us to cultivate good hearts, one. Also giving us that opportunity is to make us become more humble before our fellow human beings or mankind, while also being honorable before the Almighty. So here it is about submission that leads to cultivating compassionate hearts or action. In that case, the attributes of Allah that resonates well within this context include one, AL-BARI, which is the evolver. Use AL-BARI to seek for manifestation of clarity or intentionality. Two, we have Al-MUIZ, which is the honorable one. Allah is the honorable one indeed. So call upon Him by Al-MUIZ to seek, for an elevating status and also to be honored before the Almighty based on sincerity of faith and submission to Allah. But we'll come back to that two aspects, sincerity and submission. Also, another attribute that surface here is Al-Wahhab, which is Allah. He described Allah as the most generous giver. And indeed, He is the most generous giver. So all we need to do is to call upon Him using His beloved name, Al-Wahhab, to seek for divine gifts and blessings, and as well as to seek for purity of life or a purposeful life. Also, we have Al-Rahman that describe Allah as the bestower of kindness, and that is followed by the sibling, which is Al-Rahim. Al-Rahim describe Allah as the most compassionate one. And finally, we have Al-Halik, which is, it describes Allah as the activator and the creator, and indeed, He is our creator. So that takes us back to our scenario that say when Allah activates our hearts, you can see Al-Halik is in action because He is the creator. He created the heart. He is the infuser of the heart as well. So when He activates our hearts, He is setting us up, or preparing us to engage or cultivate good habits. So now, like I said, I'm going to come back to the two parts or two concepts, which is one, the sincerity of faith, and secondly, submission to Allah. These two aspects, they are very, very important when it comes to ranking our status before the Almighty. Because the first one, in terms of sincerity of faith, faith is not faith until it is lived. And where does faith live? Obviously, it's in the heart. So you can see that describe how important or divine, the significance of the hearts, because that's where faith itself resides. And secondly, submission to Allah, when we talk about the submission, we might be, let me put it this way, you might be something big, or you might be considered to be the best or the greatest before mankind, but nothing before the Almighty. I want us to pause and reflect on these two aspects very well. To be something before people and nothing before mankind, or vice versa, to be something and great, or let me say being honored before the Almighty, and also luckily to be honored before mankind is also good. But what we don't want to happen is to be something before mankind and be nothing before Almighty Allah. That we have a great work to do on that aspect. So let's rethink, reset, and reflect on becoming the most honorable before the Almighty as what we need to work on to cultivate hijab of the hearts. However, let me round it up with our starting questions, that if we were to choose between ranking higher before mankind, or two, ranking higher before the Almighty, which one would you prefer? Thank you. Bye for now.